So this is going to be kind of a throwback to our first episode that we ever recorded.
Yeah.
We did.
The original.
Planet of the
I got
Apes.
deleted for a reason.
Lee.
You get me, baby. Me.
Well,
Me, baby.
initially we wanted to have Cohen be our guest star.
Oh, for this?
Just for this.
That'd be funny.
But unfortunately, he moved down
He
to...
moved
It's
to
like-
Arizona. Chump.
It's like a
to go,
pilot
guy.
a pilot episode that it didn't
So-
work with that actor, so they put the
You remember... If you
You're
remember
Michael
our
J.
first...
Fox.
Michael J. Yeah, and he's Eric Stoltz.
Cohen, you are Eric Stoltz. Awesome.
Hey, you get to fly too, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And what was it? Was
Mask.
he Mask? Oh, that's terrible.
Aw, poor
guy.
Cohen.
Yeah, but he gets Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's true.
He does get Pulp Fiction.
Isn't
So-
he in? Is it? No, it's not Rudy. There's another where a kid wants to play football. Oh, come on! And no, it's Charlie Sheen, I think.
What was that? There was some 80s movie he was in, too. Oh, well.
I did hear a critique about Lee whenever he picks movies is that so some people they don't listen with earbuds, they have to listen on their speaker.
Okay.
And I guess somebody that's listening was like walking, and every time that Lee picks a movie they're like, "Oh yeah, this was the first time that a black, team did this in this sport." And then there's a bunch of racism that happens and they're like,
Well, I mean that's an ongoing joke.
Oh, I know.
Lee's goal is to make me
Yes,
hate white people. Yeah,
so
sweaty white people.
I wouldn't even call it a criticism, but because I think it's pretty damn funny.
It's just what I like.
I hate white people.
I hate people in general. Like white people the most. Like they really, really bug me a lot. I don't know what it is. They're just
If you all don't know us, know that we're three Caucasian
we're the
males.
Yes.
whitest, I'm
Whitest
the
people
whitest
say.
white man, male man you've ever met in your life. I find some ketchup spicy, so
Spicy.
spicy.
What is this, mild?
Ketchup, Grandpa.
Did you buy medium ketchup again? Damn it.
Not that spicy ketchup again. It's Heinz.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
You know how they do it.
But
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that far back, but when our first episode, when we tried to record Frailty, it was nothing because we had the wrong SIM card.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that whenever we recorded. I just hit record.
Well, yeah, because I took
and
you guys
assumed-
out to Office Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's what happened. That's why that first episode is gone.
Never happened.
Never happened.
That's crazy.
I know.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. But here
Things
we are.
happen for a reason.
I guess.
Do you guys watch New Girl at all?
Yes.
So
Annie loves New Girl.
I feel like Coach.
Yeah.
I watch that.
I'm the
every
other
once in a while.
coach.
the other coach that
Yeah, they replaced.
they replaced
Yeah.
after. Was it the pilot or the first season?
It's the pilot.
the pilot.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
But they still talk about
Yeah.
still talk about him.
About old coach.
Like he's
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Nice.
was a different person. All right. Well, welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we're going to be reviewing Rise of the Planet of the Apes
Woohoo.
from 2011. Oh my gosh. I forgot to write down the genre. What would you call this? This is a sci-fi
Sci-fi drama.
I could go with drama.
Sci-fi action.
Well, there's nothing
drama.
funny in it.
Sci-fi action drama.
Yeah.
There's a couple of funny parts.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's a comedy.
No, it's not a comedy. It's
No.
got comedic relief, but I wouldn't say it's a comedy.
No, not at all. Directed by Rupert Wyatt and written by Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver. Based on The Planet of the Apes by Pierre Boulle. Starring Andy Serkis, James Franco, Frieda Pinto, John Lithgow, Brian Cox, and
You okay?
yeah, and
What just happened?
I don't know.
You all right, guy?
Yeah.
You having a stroke?
He just had a stroke. He literally stopped,
Just like
yawned, and was done with
I'm done.
it. I'm
That's
done
it.
with it.
Nobody else.
I was
Get
trying.
Karen Knovel and Tom Felton.
I was trying to think of what Tom Felton's character in
Draco
Draco
Malfoy.
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 He doesn't. He doesn't differ much from,
not at
from
all.
Draco in this movie.
So when pharmaceutical chemist Will Rodman,
James Franco.
yep, creates a chemical test formula to cure Alzheimer's, an accident in the lab results in Caesar, the offspring of test chimpanzee, being freed.
Bright eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's his mom.
It's his mom.
Yeah. As always, I am joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah. You guys have any recommendations? Anything new that you watched this week?
I recommend not watching Argylle.
Really?
Oh, why, buddy?
Not good?
Let me just tell you, when you cast a certain actor, Sam Rockwell, in your movie, you have locked me in. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Right.
You dirty bastards. And you bludgeoned me for an hour and 40 minutes with this turd
Oh.
that was
I don't know. What is Argylle about? I
awful.
don't even know what it's about.
It's about a woman, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay, I like her a lot, too.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
Would you characterize her as an action star?
I mean, she's in the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah,
I'm
but she's
talking
not
about
like-
now. Have you seen her now?
No?
Okay, well, and I'm not
She looked
shaming.
good.
I'm not
She
shaming
looked-
Miss
I think
Bryce
she looked
Dallas
She
good.
got a
Howard.
booty now?
She got a booty on her.
Yeah.
She all kind
I'm not
of
mad about
thick,
that.
Not at all.
But she ain't in action shape,
Okay.
and she's an action star now.
Well, I never thought she was an action
No, but she
person.
is now.
Okay.
She's not.
So,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you
Oh,
based
it's
off
bad.
the 30,000 times that I saw the trailer.
Okay.
She is a writer that everything she's writing
Comes true.
comes true or has already happened.
Okay.
But she allegedly doesn't know anything about
What? Doesn't sound terrible.
what happened. Yeah.
But it is terrible.
Hey, you know what? I don't really believe you. I'm just going to watch it.
Okay, you'll love it.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna love it because I'm gonna tell you it tries to be fun is what it
Okay.
tries to be, and it does not take itself serious,
Okay.
and it's terrible. When you have a dance sequence with Sam Rockwell and you screw that up, then I don't have any pity for you. I'm not going to save you with a kind review. When you don't show my man's footwork, then what are you doing?
Lee,
It's Sam Rockwell.
stay right there.
right through the bar.
Hold on. I got to get where I'm at. There we go.
yeah.
There we go. I think I got you blinking. There we go. This is what I see as he's yelling at me about Argylle.
Yeah, it's
Well, I'm going to
terrible.
have to watch it.
It's terrible.
For sure.
And when you get to the smoke screen scene,
Okay.
you'll know why I hate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
F plus.
Oh, God.
So I know we're on the. I have a question for you guys.
All right.
So I have a supervisor at work that works with me during the day. Right?
Fire.
No, she's awesome.
Damn it.
Her name's Allie. She has been talking for 2 years about this movie that she watched on TV.
Yeah.
On
And
TV.
I have Googled everything she's given me, and I cannot figure out what this movie is.
Okay.
She said it is like a teenage high school movie.
Okay.
Goth girl goes to a party at a house.
You lost me.
Okay. This is all she's given me. There's this like fog that goes into people and possesses them. Mm-hmm. There's a hot tub scene. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where there's an Asian guy watching the girl and she has the gun, she's possessed, and she goes to shoot him. Mm-hmm. But then she shoots the ground and he runs away. But later in the movie, he's been in the ground the entire time watching from a different angle. So it has to do with time travel as well. Anything ringing a bell?
Do we have any actors?
No. Listen to me. I have Googled fog horror. She said it was a scary movie. Horror movie.
She said whore.
Horror movie. Horror movie. Shooting the ground. I mean, I have Googled
Everything.
at least a full 8-hour work shift worth of time trying to figure out this movie over the last 2 years.
When did she see it?
2 years ago. She's like,
Was
I
it
was
new?
like,
Saw it 2 years ago.
she said it's like 2015, 16.
Okay, so mid-teens.
If
Goth
anyone
girl.
knows. I mean, to me,
Horror possession.
to me, a girl shooting. So she said at the very end of the movie, she's pulling up to the house. Like, it's like the beginning of the movie, and she had seen everything that's going to happen.
The only.
So it has to do with time travel
Yeah.
as well. I told her she's nuts.
So
I told her that
Okay.
she's made it all
The
up, that she
only-
fever dreamed it.
the only thing that I can kind of think of.
She said the goth girl had one of those. She has like one of the hoop nose rings as well in it, like the main character does.
Okay.
A Boulle, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know about that then. The only thing I could semi think of that's like horror is Happy Death Day. And that's like kind of high school.
But I think that's a
Well,
newer.
we're thinking of the movie called The Visit. No, I'm kidding.
That's not true because I know.
Gotcha, bitch.
Listen, I would have loved if that was the case because it's driving me crazy. Anyways, all right. So I have not watched anything new.
You did watch. No, you did.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I watched the sequel to this movie.
One other
Nice.
question.
Yeah.
Do we know the time frame, the time period the movie takes place?
I don't. I can ask her.
Okay.
Well, I'll get
that.
more info.
Next episode, we'll have our answer.
Seriously, I'm gonna be so
I'll put it
pissed
in
if you
the.
do.
I'll put it in the post for the next episode.
There's my best bar I talked about, by the way.
Nice. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes with Gary Oldman.
Okay. Did you
And-
ever watch War?
I haven't watched War yet, so Ben, my 11-year-old, hadn't seen Rise,
Yeah.
and I like this movie so much that I was like, well, what the hell happens in the next one?
Yeah.
So I instantly turned it on and started watching it.
Really?
And my 11-year-old walked in and like 10 minutes into it, and he watched the entire thing with me.
Nice.
So he was like, are there more? And I'm like, yeah, there's one more
One
after
more.
this
Yeah.
with Caesar.
Yeah.
And then the new one that comes out takes place in the future past Caesar.
Yes.
Caesar's not in anymore.
Yeah.
Which, man, it's so weird caring about a CGI character as much as
Dude.
you do Caesar. It's
Oh, I
so
know.
weird.
And whenever I put in for
He's such a great character.
anytime you go through the starring roles of this, they all have Pinto and they all have James Franco, and then they have Tom Felton and John Lithgow and all these other guys, and then that like the very bottom they have Andy Serkis, and I thought that was insane.
See, and IMDb has them listed first.
First.
Yeah. Yep.
And I pull everything off IMDb.
Really?
It seems to be the most comprehensive
Yeah.
place to find anything. But yeah, they had him, and then they didn't even have Franco next.
Really?
It was crazy.
Yeah. That being said, are you guys fans of Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, after this movie or
all of them.
all
I
of them?
remember watching them when I was a kid on like Saturday mornings on.
When I was early teen, 12, 13, I asked for them on VHS. All
Really?
of them.
Wow.
I loved all of them. Like I like even the ones where the apes come back.
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
I like all
For
of
Conquest
those movies.
and all
Yes,
of those.
I freaking love all those movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I do too.
Sorry. I've always been very passionate because you either hate or you love Planet of the Apes movies.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the movie.
Do you
I just
remember
thought
what
it was really, really, really campy. Like the first Planet of the Apes. Like I said when I did that review, it is hard for me to watch that through 1968 eyes because I
Right.
don't have those eyes.
Right.
And I can remember asking my dad about it when he saw it. He goes, "Yeah, it was crazy.
It was
Like it was
insane.
insane back in then,
Yeah.
back those days." But
You know what though? So I love the movie Logan's Run,
Yeah.
and watching that in today's eyes,
that's bad.
but I love it still. I
Yeah.
still will watch it at least
Right.
once a year.
Right.
I know what you're saying. This is Disney and me.
Yeah.
It's the Epcot
Yeah.
Center, the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
From the 70s. That
Gotcha.
when you go and look at it now, you're like, we're way beyond that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, even watching like Star Trek: The Next Generation, they
Yeah.
use iPads.
Yeah.
And their iPads suck compared to what we have now.
Right.
You know, like
Got my iPad here. This phone.
exactly.
Does
Look, mine
everything.
flips out. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I hear you.
But I mean, I think the first one's just a classic.
I do too.
It is one of your first big twists in a movie.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of any other ones from that era that have like a giant
Other
twist
than,
like
like-
that.
So, do you
Psycho or
remember
something.
in the original
Yeah.
the name of the ship?
Yep.
What was it?
Icarus.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did not remember that. That's very
Yeah, they put
very
it
good.
in the new one.
Yeah, I knew that.
Like I
The
remember,
Russia, they're
Okay.
going to Mars.
Yeah, they're
So-
going to Mars, and I was like, "Well, that was the Icarus."
I'm
That was
gonna-
the same.
I don't know if you guys have seen the trailers for. I'm a massive Planet of the Apes fan. I love those movies.
Yeah.
I was telling Lee and Cohen the first time I watched them. We had it on VHS. Every one of those movies was ruined, along with Empire and Return of the Jedi.
I'm right there with you, man.
I mean,
I loved them too.
Yeah. So I was really excited. And the funny thing is that my mom is a huge Planet of the Apes person too. And
I just realized I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, you're good. So it is. My mom and I have a really good bond over these movies because we've gone to the theater for these newer ones. Obviously, I wasn't alive for the older ones, but
Right.
we
Yeah,
did.
because you're so young. I forgot.
My brain just exploded with Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
I've never tied it
Never
together
tied
until
it together?
this moment
Yeah.
right now.
Did
That-
you
it was-
did you tie Cornelia to?
Cornelia?
Yes.
And then they also brought Cornelius back.
Yeah. But Bright Eyes, I did not for some reason.
Yeah.
But it has been years since I've watched the first
Oh, yeah.
Planet of the Apes. I used to
Yeah.
watch them religiously.
Oh yeah. So that being said, I'm going to, and I know that we don't normally do this, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out,
Right.
and I'm gonna have a theory. I'm gonna try and call it right now. We're recording May 1st. Okay.
All right.
My theory is that there's a girl that's always seen in the trailers.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's an astronaut.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
She is
it
an
She
astronaut.
has to be an astronaut because she's dressed completely different, and I think that
Yeah.
the reason that they're not.
I mean, that's what I got
They're,
from
they're
the
gonna.
trailer.
They're, this is going to be when Charlton Heston would have landed.
Exactly, and they're going to reset the
They're gonna
timeline.
Make it a female, and I'm okay with the
right,
female
and that's
remakes.
but that's
like,
exactly why I
remakes.
don't think that they put that in the trailer,
Right.
Because they don't want to upset.
The timeline.
Well,
No, the female character
female lead
instead
character,
of the male character.
yeah.
I got you.
But I think it'll mostly be more towards our main ape protagonist. I think it's going to be more from his eyes than from her eyes, which I think would be really cool. So, but
I'm excited for it.
I am too. I'm
Especially
so
now
thrilled.
that I got my head out of my ass and watched Dawn.
Yeah.
There was no reason why I didn't. I just didn't.
Just never
and
did.
now I'm like,
Watch
oh,
Are you
War.
excited
I'm telling
for
you, War's
War?
good.
oh no, yeah, oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I plan on
Woody
watching
Harrelson.
War soon.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. I know he's like the general or whatever, right? Yeah.
when we watched
Not a good dude.
when I watched Planet of the Apes for our first review, my son started watching it with me, and he's like, "Oh, what is this?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Planet of the Apes." He said, "Did they make any more?" I'm like,
Did they make any more?
"Yeah."
You're
So
hooked.
we watched all of them, and then we watched this one, Dawn, and War, and Logan loved all of them, and he will routinely tell me, "Apes together strong,"
That's right.
all the time. I like, yeah. So it's really cool for
Ape
me.
no kill ape.
Yeah.
Ape, not kill ape.
It's really cool that started off with my mom, and then she passed it on to me, and now
Pass it on to Logan.
passed it on to Logan. This generation of there's not a bad new one. I'm just saying.
No, there isn't.
There's not a bad
we
new
just
one.
we're ignoring the Mark Wahlberg one.
What
Who?
is that one? What?
Planet of the Apes
Who?
What's that?
with Mark Wahlberg.
Who?
Huh?
I've
Never heard of it.
never heard of it.
Yeah.
Lies.
All right.
I may not have seen that in the theater if it existed, which I don't believe it does.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Just like some other, anime movie that they put out. I don't believe that exists either.
Well, let's talk about what are
Sex,
we doing?
baby.
Yeah. Rise of the Planet of the Apes from 2011.
That looks like Paul Giamatti. Tell me it doesn't.
I'm looking at pictures of
I believe that is Paul
the
Giamatti.
2001
Could be.
Planet of the Apes.
I believe
with
that's
Mark
Paul
Wahlberg
Giamatti
that may or may
playing
not
that.
exist.
Never happened.
I believe
Never
Paul
happened.
Giamatti
Oh
plays that
shit!
character.
I didn't know Tim Burton directed it.
Yeah.
What?
Planet of the Apes 2001.
Yeah.
Never happened. All right.
Has Tim Roth in it. Michael Clark Duncan.
Yep.
Oh, and Paul Giamatti.
I told you.
All right, continue. I'm sorry, Calvin. I'm terrible.
So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes has a runtime of 105 minutes. It premiered August 5th, 2011. Had a budget of $93 million. Grossed $481.8 million.
No wonder they made two more.
Box office for that month, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, The Help, The Smurfs,
Damn, that helps a great movie.
yeah it is, Cowboys and Aliens, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Captain America the First Avenger, Crazy Stupid Love, Final Destination 5, The Change-Up, and 30 Minutes or Less. A couple facts about the movie before we get into spoilers is that it is one of the... Oh my god.
She's doable.
It's a damn dirty ape.
Are you gonna send me the gif of him and Marky Mark kissing too?
Ooh, maybe.
Ugh.
Possible.
This is one of the first movies to use motion capture in on-location setting. Previously, mocap was limited to special studios set up with special motion capture cameras and very clearly defined surroundings.
Well, I mean, I can tell you the entire time watching this movie, you don't question CGI.
No.
It's one of the few movies I can watch that it doesn't look cartoony.
So
Ben asked me, "Are those real or
real
are they
apps?
CGI?" And I
Yeah.
said, "They're CGI, buddy."
Yeah.
He's like, "Dang," and I'm like, "I know."
So I want you to picture this because this is how they filmed it, is that they had Andy Serkis in a green CGI suit and he's doing monkey movements as like throughout all of this
He
area.
can do Gollum. He can
It's
do.
the same.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
He's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Caesar's speaking voice was produced by sound designer Chuck Michael, who mixed the sounds of fully grown male chimps. Vocalization
He just had his
recording.
second stroke
I know,
of the
right?
episode.
Recorded a chimp haven with Andy Serkis's voice, so they combined Andy Serkis' voice with apes. This is the first movie in the series to feature another great ape species besides chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans. Koba, the scarred
Bonobo.
what?
He's a bonobo, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bonobo. Yep. So
Koba's my favorite.
is he
He's my favorite character.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I like Koba.
Koba.
Would you guys recommend people watch this movie?
Oh my God,
Oh
yes.
Yes.
All three of these movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
You know,
And I'm really hoping the fourth.
Again, I'm
Me too.
not dogging on the original movies, the 45
They're
of them
dated.
that came out, but they're just dated.
Yeah, for sure.
These are just so much better.
yeah.
Go back and watch the first one, just to get a feel for it. But
Mm-hmm.
these are great
Oh, they're
movies. and
fantastic.
Again, you can make me care about a CGI character more than I care about humans in the movie.
I struggled a lot with that.
Just makes me hate
Really?
the white people in this movie.
Oh, makes me sweaty, bro.
But
But really-
I hate the black guy the most.
My thing is it was real.
It was his fault. Come on now.
Yeah,
No.
Greed.
It's not.
Totally
No.
greed.
It was definitely
It was
James
Franco's.
Corden's fault.
I could see James Corden.
Definitely
Yeah.
James Corden's fault.
what the hell was he? What do you mean? Who's that?
He was
Franklin.
the lab tech. Franklin.
Franklin.
Well,
It was Franklin's fault.
No.
Franklin should
it was
have.
100
Franklin should have followed
procedure.
quarantine protocol.
Yes. The rest of the movie would never happen.
but also James
Franklin
Franco should have.
But had the greedy black dude, director, whatever his name is, not pushed the testing to begin with, he wouldn't have been exposed to the aerosol.
But
Really, it's John Lithgow's fault for getting
Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's.
genetics, genetics.
genetics is the
John
best,
Lithgow's
Yeah.
dad's fault.
right?
Yeah,
It's his mom's fault.
yeah.
So I have one nitpick with this whole series. Okay.
Okay.
And that is the naming of the movies. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like
think
the
they're,
naming.
I think they're reversed. Okay.
Yeah.
Hear me out. This movie should have been called Dawn of the
Dawn.
Planet of the Apes. The next one should have been
been
called
Rise.
War.
War.
Yep.
And then the following one should be Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
You don't know what happens in the third.
But-
There's a huge deal that goes on in the third.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Don't
gotta
spoil
watch
it.
It's
Makes
great.
it
No spoilers.
way worse
Right.
for humans.
All right. Well, let's get into some spoilers if we haven't spoiled enough already.
Right?
Grow
Trivia
up.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Trivia. What is Bright Eye's designated number? They say it 4 times.
8.
6.
9.
Damn it! I knew it was a curvy number.
What?
Was
All
it
about them.
1 or 4.
No.
You brought up Bryce Dallas
Or
Howard
7.
and all
I
where
know.
our curves.
All I'm thinking about is booties.
Booty. BTB.
Woo!
Bring that,
That
booty.
is one big behind.
Oh my God.
Like to put barbecue sauce on it.
Oh God.
Bat is the chicken of the cave.
Yeah. What game does Caesar play pretty well at age 3?
Oh God, what's it called?
Chess.
That's correct.
Oh, I was thinking of the puzzle.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
No, he did that in 15 moves. Perfect.
Perfect score.
Caesar did
The
it in
Lucas
20.
test.
Yeah.
No,
Koba.
Caesar did it in
Kobe.
15.
Nope. Caesar did it in 20 because he had the 112. Koba did it in 15.
He did.
You're wrong.
Let's see
His
here.
mom was the one that did it with a perfect score.
Right here. By the age of 3.
Okay, I'm thinking of Bright Eyes.
Thank you.
Oh, he's so sassy. I like
Good
it.
God.
Makes me happy when he gets sassy, honestly.
All right. How old is Caesar for the rest of the movie following the Redwood Forest montage?
9. 8 or 9. He's 9. I'm saying 9.
8.
8's correct.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 5 years later.
What
Man.
version of the drug is Koba given?
13. 113.
That's correct.
Koba.
I like it in the second one when he
love
plays.
Koba.
He plays
Yeah.
silly.
Yep.
Yeah.
He grabs the gun and yeah.
Oh my gosh. What words does Caesar say throughout the movie?
No. And go. I think he says go
he says
and
no.
And
Home.
Caesar is home.
That's correct. All right. Bonus question. What is the fate of the Icarus spacecraft?
It gets lost in space.
That's correct. Awesome. All right. So this is going to be our first time trying out a new format where we're not necessarily going to be doing like a long form. We're just going to be talking about scenes throughout the movie.
Right?
We're gonna try to do it chronologically, but
Right.
sometimes we'll jump. I think we just got sick of the formalness of it, and we want it to be more of a.
It's not
We're
as
chatting,
It's
talking.
not as fun reviewing them when you have to take diligent notes.
Right.
It's true. It's the one thing I hate because it takes me 3-4 hours watching a movie,
Right.
and I can't watch it with my family then because they're like,
Won't
"Quit
shut up."
pausing the movie,"
Yeah. Yep.
and I don't take notes fast enough to.
Right.
To get through it.
So we're gonna try this out, and you let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're gonna try it with because we're doing a double record, so we're gonna do it with this and solo. So
We'll
if
have
you
a
like
good couple weeks worth of data and feedback, and
for sure.
Please, 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 please. Let us know
Yeah.
what
Let
you
us know.
think.
Yeah.
Let us know anything at any point in time. Anything at all.
Yep.
Feel free to reach out. We're lonely.
We're
It's lonely in here.
we just got the 3 of us,
podcast is bullshit.
It is bullshit. I told me I was going to be famous.
right? All right. Well, let's get into it. Take it
Awesome.
away, Lee.
All right, so this movie starts out in the jungle, and we're going to do some poaching. They're going to snag up some chimps. You know, to me, it looked like they were going to go and kill the chimps because they're running after them with machetes.
Right.
But it was all just to snare the traps to get them into the cages
So-
and whatnot. So
I do have a question
Yep.
because is this? Do you think that this is more so fan service, or do you think it's more so nods throughout the movie? Because there was a lot
I
of
think
nods.
it's nods. I think there's
Okay.
probably 30 nods in this movie
Right.
to the original, and
Yeah.
it's just like in the original where they're chasing after him, and
At the very beginning,
the very
yeah.
beginning, you know, when after they land on the planet and they're being chased by the apes, you know, and they do that again in the newest movie that I've seen previews for. They're going
Right.
to have that scene again, chasing them down with horses.
Yep.
So it's kind of a
theme.
nod to that, and
Yeah.
they do a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, from the names to Icarus to, you know, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Callbacks on like
A lot of callbacks.
get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they start off by, you know, taking a bunch of chimps and flying them off to some research facility. And this is where we meet Bright Eyes. And she's taking the Lucas test where she's moving all the things over, and the perfect score is 15. And she just got a 20, which is amazing because she's never even passed it before.
After the first
One dose of ALZ 112. And she's already doing amazing things.
Right.
You know, of course, all the corporate crap, you got to get approval for everything. He wants James Franco, who's developed all this, really wants to move forward. And his boss is telling him, look, hey, you know, keep your emotions out of it. Just do the research.
Yeah.
Not really telling us why. And we find out real quick when he goes home that his dad has Alzheimer's.
It's all James Corden's fault because after they test her, they're trying, like, she starts becoming erratic and whatnot.
Right.
What are they? They're trying to, like, capture her.
Yeah, they're
or
trying to get her
something?
out of her cage.
Out of her cage
to do more
take-
testing.
Well, they're going to take her into another cage, I'm assuming, to show in front of the board on, like, oh, yeah, she's really smart.
Right.
But the way that they handle it
It was terrible.
is asinine.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what he was thinking by trying to get that ape out of that cage that way.
the way, yeah,
That's
I
just
mean, I
asking
think
to
at
get
that
hurt.
point in time, you just say
whatever.
it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, you let the animal calm down.
Yeah.
Is what you do.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, they're not the brightest bulbs on the tree.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's taking the ALZ 112, and it's supposed to cure Alzheimer's, and then she has a baby, and she's very protective. Like, you can't see the baby. It's up underneath her sleeping bench or whatever you want to call it. And she's being very protective, and they try to pull her out, and things go really bad. And she ends up getting killed as she jumps through all the windows and ends up on the table in the board meeting.
Right.
It was nuts. And the security guard, shoots her before she can hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody knows why she was acting the way she was, and then they find out.
They think it was just aggressive behavior.
So they're going to shut the whole project down.
Kill every one of them.
We're not going to put any money into this because it obviously drove your chimp insane and tried to kill us.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to start over at the molecular level and find a way around it, which is a disaster.
Yeah.
Not good. So then Franklin finds the baby in the cage and shows...
You keep calling Franklin James Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Franklin. That's his character's name.
Yeah.
But it's not James Gordon.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. It's the guy that looks like James Gordon. It's Franklin.
Tyler Labine.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's
But
Franklin.
you guys kept saying it, and I'm like,
I didn't know.
I'm
You
confused.
called him James Gordon.
No, I did not.
I definitely called him James.
Yeah, I was totally him.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he totally
100%.
does. But I'm like, was that really him? And I didn't realize it. Like,
No, it's not.
Okay. Sorry. Continue, Franklin.
Yeah. So Franklin finds the chimp and he shows him to Rodman, Will, James Franco, and says, "Look, you got to take him because my brother-in-law works for security and he'll rat me out in a heartbeat." And he goes, "What am I supposed to do with this monkey?" He goes, "It's not a monkey. It's an ape.
It's an ape.
So take him home." Mm-hmm. He goes, "And if you don't want to do it, you can kill him. I killed the rest of them. Have at it, Austin." Of course, he can't do it.
Yeah.
Which turns James Franco into the least hated human next to the doctor.
Right.
That helps Caesar later on down the road in the entire movie. Everybody else in the movie that's a human is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. Not one good one.
Well,
John
his
Lithgow.
girlfriend, John
That's
Lithgow.
what I said, her.
Yeah.
The doctor,
John
his girlfriend,
Lithgow.
and John Lithgow. Those are the only good people in the entire movie.
Yeah. You didn't
And
like the
you know what?
pilot?
I think maybe the son,
Franklin was okay.
The son of the
Neighbor?
the son of the guy that runs the sanctuary.
Oh no.
Oh, no. His son was
That was
Malfoy.
Tom-
Was Dodge.
Yeah.
Oh, so the other
He even
guy.
has the same last
then,
name,
Then
so-
the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was decent.
Yeah, I think that he was
was just weak.
a puss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Will comes home with Caesar, and you meet John Lithgow, his dad, Charles, playing the piano, and he's got Alzheimer's, so he starts missing some notes.
Yeah.
And he asks Will, about his big day, because he knew he had a big test in chemistry, so he's still living in the past a little bit. His Alzheimer's and his dementia is really, really starting to kick his butt.
Yeah, you can tell things aren't really going right for him. And in-home care nurse, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
is kind of like, yeah, it was just kind of
good days and bad days.
and today wasn't necessarily a good day.
Yeah.
And that he introduces
Caesar. Yeah,
And-
and he starts quoting from the book Julius Caesar,
Caesar.
when he's holding him. So he kind of names him right there, but
as Caesar. Yeah.
yeah. And then later that night, Caesar kind of cries, so he's got to comfort him like a baby, and it's it's
was
very
cool.
It's
Yeah.
very bonding with the ape already.
I like the next morning, he's 2 days old.
Yeah.
And then John Lithgow gives him a bottle of milk. And he's already
Holding it and drinking
holding it and drinking
Yeah.
it.
all because of the ALZ 112. So
Because I feel like they said it earlier on in the movie that whenever they have like this ALZ, then
get
they're
their green
kinda,
flecks
in
in
their eye.
and the irises. Yep. So, so he's 2 days old. He's already holding the bottle, and then Charles asks him, "What are you going to name him?" And they named him Caesar. After the book. And they start testing him at home because, he's got all these skills. So after 18 months, he's signing up to 24 words. In 2 years, he's doing puzzles for 8 years old.
Yeah.
And his Lucas Tower is 15 moves. Perfect score.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he...
So obviously, really smart. Then, good old Doc decides that he finds out that Mother passed the ALZ 112 to Caesar vertically through genetics and made it actually better.
Yeah.
Like he's learning exponentially,
rapid
super,
rate.
super.
And you kind of get like a cool montage of him going throughout the house and
getting
upstairs.
bigger,
And
yeah.
he's 3
I will say
years
the
old or
character
something.
development of Caesar is just amazing.
Oh,
in this
fantastic.
movie.
yeah. When you actually go from day one and show everything that he can do yeah, you're going to care about him.
Yeah.
That's
but
how
like
it's
even
done.
like the teenage years, the adventure years, and then when he becomes
Yeah.
with that scowl on his face all the time,
All the time.
But you just care so much for him,
Right.
Not
Yeah.
to jump ahead too far.
He's
in
just
this,
a bad mother.
but there's a scene that after he gives the ALZ 113 to all the apes in the shelter, he's just sitting in his cage, just waiting for them to wake up.
Yeah.
And
One
the
of my
look on
favorite
his
scenes in the
face,
movie.
it's just creepy as shit.
Yeah.
It
He
is
always
the
has
most real.
He just has a scowl on
This
his face
real
all the time.
looking just contempt for everything around him.
And he's really the only one that walks upright.
Yeah.
Upright.
all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
Yep. Love him. Love him.
And so he escapes because he sees the kids playing in the neighbor's
wants
yard.
to go
He wants to
He wants
play.
to go play.
And somebody
on the
left a
bike.
window open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he gets out, he scares the kids, and of course, because they obviously didn't know that there was a chimp living next door for
Right.
the last 3 years. But I think I would have figured it out, but that's just me. Guess I'm kind of crazy. And all this time, Dad is degrading. His Alzheimer's getting worse. His dementia's getting worse. And
Yeah. Whereas it was working for a little bit for that first 3 years, now it's
well, this is before he's even given it to him.
oh yeah.
So he decides to go to work and steal 4 vials of the ALZ 112 and give it to his dad. And the effects were immediately. He gave it to him at night. The next morning he wakes up and he's playing piano perfectly.
Yeah.
Just killing it. Mm-hmm. So over the next 4 to 5 years, everything is copacetic. Everything's great. I'm assuming he gave him more treatments because he told him
Throughout that
you
4 or
shouldn't
5
need
years.
it more than
Once a month.
once a month.
Yeah.
So he used those 4 vials long enough to keep him
Him good.
good.
His he meets the love interest because Caesar, whenever
Yeah. So when Caesar escapes because somebody left a window open,
he falls,
he
or
falls and he hurts his arm and he gets a cut. So he's got to sneak him into the zoo.
something. He has a knee, but yeah.
And once
that
this
scene.
is the scene where all the chimps or all the primates are out in the open and they
just stop.
They smell Caesar and everybody just stops like the record needle scratch.
It is
Yeah.
such a
It's weird.
It's a very weird scene.
But I thought it was really cool.
I
Oh,
did too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he peeks his head out, and they all see him. They're like, "Oh, we see you in there, you lace curtain mother!
Yeah.
Get your ass in here. You ain't free." That's how that works. So he takes him to the zoo, and this is where we meet the good doctor.
And I'm
easy
just-
on the eyes.
I'm just gonna say that I don't remember too many characters on this. Them introducing too many characters' names. It was always just, oh yeah, that's James Franco, and that's James Gordon lookalike, and that's
Right.
that's Draco Malfoy and John Lithgow.
Yeah, I didn't write her name down.
She was famous from Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't watch that either.
Yeah.
Caesar is
Caroline.
Caroline. Caesar is kind of hitting on the doctor for
For
Will.
James Franco. Yeah.
Tell him that he thinks you should come over for dinner.
Yeah.
And
And they're signing, and she's like, "Oh, why are you telling him to sign?" And she's starting to pick up on
a few things. She goes, it's appropriate to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
They are still animals.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's going to get bigger.
so they end up taking him to the redwood forest, and that's where he's just in awe. He goes out in the middle of that clearing. The trees are just, mountainous skyscraper trees, and he's just like, wow. And he gets to go and run and climb, and they do another
We get our
5-year time jump.
Lion King.
Well, John Lithgow's like higher, higher,
Yeah.
higher.
It's crazy, man.
Lion King Akuna Matata
Right.
montage. Him getting older.
And after 5
gets
years, Will and
clothes.
the
Yeah.
good doctor are still together. They're having their little picnic and a little smoochy time. And Caesar's just like, yeah, you can stop all that. I'm back.
Well, he kind of has a look on his face then too, like kind of an aggressive look.
yeah, a little jealous
Yeah.
of the doctor. Like,
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is one of the few complaints that I have about this movie is that later on he kind of reveals to her like, oh yeah, this is Caesar's backstory. This is everything that's going on with him.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, wouldn't you have said that?
Right?
Was it 5
Early?
years?
Been
Yeah.
5 years?
5
You've been over
years.
to the house that many times and you haven't been in that room?
Right?
I don't get it. But right before he goes to take off running for the trees, he does the supplication where his hand out to get permission from Will to go and to have fun.
Right.
And that's a running theme throughout all of the Planet of the Apes
started
movies.
in the movie Congo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy.
I like that movie. It was all right.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Good.
So Caesar comes down, and we're getting ready to head home, and he's on a leash, and there's a dog coming in with another family and starts barking at him, and Caesar kind of shows a little aggression and snaps at the dog, and he wants to know if he's a pet.
Well, because he's getting tugged by his leash the entire time.
Yeah.
And he sees the dog with the leash. He's
Yeah.
like, "Am I like that? Am I your pet?"
Am I a
And he's
pet?
like, "You're not a pet. You're my son."
Yeah.
And then James Franco and the good Dr. Caroline, they take him to Genesis and kind of tell him what his origin was, of what happened to him, his mother, and why he is the way he is. And
He's not happy about
not
this.
super happy about it. So,
Right.
This is when the scowl begins.
Right.
Yeah.
So Caesar's IQ has doubled over the last year. And Caesar notices Charles holding the spork in the wrong way at the table, and he
Upside
corrects
down.
him.
Yeah.
So that shows that the antibodies are stopping the 112 in Charles, and he is going to start regressing soon.
Yeah.
He ends up getting in the neighbor's car and wrecking it. The neighbor comes out and starts
poor
berating.
neighbor.
Oh man, this neighbor just
He
cannot
really
catch a
he
break.
cannot, and I know he's supposed to be made out to be an asshole, but he has the reaction of all people,
Right,
You know,
right.
like
So
what
he's
are
out
you
there
doing?
wrecking his Mustang, and he comes out there and gets in his face. And
I think the only time is when Caesar goes in the garage to play with the little kids, and he comes out and he's like, "Get out of here!" I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, "Whoa,
cool,
whoa,
monkey."
it's a freaking chimpanzee,"
But at that age, then maybe like, oh yeah, what's this monkey doing in here?
right?
But
I know
later,
chimpanzees are dangerous.
yes. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nice, but man,
a full-grown
You don't
male
mess around.
chimpanzee is
Yeah. Can destroy you.
yes,
Yeah.
don't mess
But-
around.
not as intelligent as Caesar, so
Right.
probably have a little more to fear with those.
Right.
Yeah, so Charles's disease is going to start regressing soon, and that's what happens. He goes out and wrecks a neighbor's car. Caesar watches it from the window of the neighbor, really
And he gets
getting
pissed.
aggressive with Charles, and his protective instinct kicks in.
Oh, man.
And he comes out and literally kicks the shit
He
out of the
does
neighbor.
beat the hell
Just
out of.
beats the
Oh,
crap
yeah.
out of him, chases him through the neighborhood, ends up knocking him off the porch and rolling, and then bites his damn finger off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, okay, that may have been a little much, but I see where you had to go to get Caesar
to
out
go.
of his custody.
Yeah, he has to go.
So that was bad. And now, for me, anyway, the most heartbreaking moment of the film. He has to go to animal control and to this San Bruno primate shelter, and they got to leave him there. And it's awful for
Yeah,
me.
it's rough.
Luckily for me, I never had this problem with my kids when I dropped them off at daycare.
Yeah.
They did not scream and holler when I dropped
Right,
them off.
right,
They
right.
screamed and hollered when I picked them up, which is worse because it makes you look like you're beating the shit out of your kids. The shelter's like a prison.
Here's my bitch about this is later on. I know we're skipping a little bit. James Franco bribes the main guy to let him go.
Why don't you do that in the first place?
Why the didn't you do that to begin with?
I think he thought he was going to work the system and get
Caesar back.
him back.
Yeah, but still.
Right. And
Why didn't you just do
And
it?
why didn't you just say he's property of Genesis Labs?
Right. Because y'all are feeding Genesis Labs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's property of Genesis Labs.
Yeah.
So he needs to come back to the lab. And that's all you had to say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Whatever. Caesar learns the pecking order real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Koba.
No, Kobo doesn't.
Oh,
he doesn't even
it's
meet
Rocket.
Kobo.
He doesn't
It's
meet
Rocket.
Kobo.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Draco learns him real quick who the boss is.
So what'd you guys think of Logan Roy running a ape sanctuary?
Logan Roy.
Succession.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't watch Succession.
No, I thought he
it's
did a
Brian
good job.
Cox.
Yeah.
It's Stryker.
Oh, yeah, William Stryker. Yeah.
Colonel.
Yeah.
Colonel Stryker.
Colonel Stryker.
Yeah, guy that made Wolverine.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's also in Braveheart.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been a lot. I know
What was
most.
he in Braveheart?
He's in the movie Red Eye. Do you guys remember that movie?
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that movie. We talked about that movie
Yeah.
before.
He's Argylle Wallace in Braveheart. He's in the top 5.
Oh, Uncle Argylle.
Yeah.
That's right. Uncle
What do you think
Argylle.
about him in Super Troopers?
Oh, he's hilarious in Super Troopers.
Oh, he's in Born Identity as well.
Yeah, he played the director.
Yeah, he's been a lot. My
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
Brian
stuff.
Cox is
The Ringer.
He really shines in Succession, though. Let me tell you,
Does he?
Oh,
He's
such a
in The
good.
Ring, The Rookie,
Wow.
Tangent.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah, he's been in a lot. Forget it.
Oh, for sure.
Rushmore.
Ugh.
Damn, just a lot. The Campaign. I forgot about that movie.
Yes.
Might be for another.
So, I
time.
mean,
Definitely is for
I
another
think
time.
that he's a good character to run something like that.
Yeah.
No shit.
I don't think that he had as big of a part in it though as
Malfoy.
Malfoy.
Yeah. Tom
Oh
Felton.
yeah, we're made to hate
Dodge.
Dodge.
Yeah.
I can't stand that
He's a
kid.
turd.
He
He
is.
is.
Just an ignorant little sweaty white kid.
Yep.
Little racist, sweaty
Little,
white kid.
Little bit of power over apes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, big man.
Yeah.
Can't
Filthy
stand
little
him.
mudbloods.
Right? Little mudbloods. Anyway. So Will goes to the city or whatever, and he's going to try to get his hearing moved up, and he's talking to the clerk. And the clerk is actually Maurice. Same actor.
Nice.
Plays Maurice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a woman.
Oh,
It's weird. Whatever.
all right.
So then we find out the 112's not working. It's getting worse. He doesn't want to lose both his dad, his chimp. But, what are you going to do? He's got to find a more aggressive viral delivery, and he needs to test it on new chimps.
Right.
So he's shown the doctors, he showed his boss
Mm-hmm.
what could happen, and that Caesar's actually gotten smarter. And he's like, all right, start testing. We're going to
Do
take
it.
this and run with it.
Yeah.
So now we cut back to the shelter, and more of Caesar learning the ropes. Gets the hose from Dodge. Just more of Dodge being an asshole.
I like how during this whole, I want to say it's an ape sanctuary, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, is what it's supposed to be. How Caesar is methodically looking at special things. Like, I couldn't see if it was Brock or if it was Rock, the...
Buck?
Was it Buck?
The gorilla.
The gorilla?
That's
yeah,
Buck.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's methodically looking at, like, okay, there's this, there's the
There's
skylight,
that.
there's that. This is how
Yeah.
everything is run.
He's taking everything in to see
Yeah.
how everything's going to work. And
I love this methodical planning that Caesar
Yeah.
has.
but after he
Throughout
gets
this
the hose, he's really feeling down, and he draws the window from his attic, from his house on the cell wall. And
And again,
I'm really, really feeling for Caesar at this time. Like,
Yeah, he's in
he
prison.
feels abandoned and
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the worst possible place for him.
a lot of callbacks to OG Planet of the Apes throughout this too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Good
Just
stuff.
reverse roles.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we meet Koba.
Also, no one ever mentions that he's drawn the shape in his cell.
right.
None of the-
Nobody even looks.
I know, but none of the humans ever even were like, "Holy crap! Did he draw that?" Like,
right?
you would think that they would notice that.
They
It's
probably
in
weren't
white
even
chalk
look-
or
weren't even
rock
looking
or,
for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Still,
So now we meet Koba. They bring in a bunch of new test apes
Yeah.
to do their testing on, and they see that Koba's kind of been through it. He's got all kinds of scars. He's got a bad eye. He's got all kinds of shit wrong.
you
with
never are mad at Koba either.
him. No,
like
I'm never
even
mad
in the
at Koba.
second, even in the second
No.
movie, you get it.
Never mad at
Yep.
Koba.
Yeah.
I love Koba. He gets it.
Yeah.
Humans are bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they give ALZ 113 in the new aerosol form to Koba, and he gets dosed with it.
And at the same time, he's knocks Franklin's mask off.
Well, he
Yep.
jumps
Yeah.
like
He
he's
jumps,
not tied
yeah.
down well enough, and
Yeah,
he jumps.
and when he's breathing the stuff, he has a reaction. It knocks his mask off. It knocks the hose off of the delivery system, which makes Franklin have to breathe in the ALZ 113, which they don't know what the
Side effects
are going to be on humans at all because they haven't even tested it on apes yet.
they're producing a shit ton of it, though.
Yeah. To me, it's not going to go well. Now it's time for Caesar to get some yard time with the rest of the primates, and it goes about as expected. He's all oh, shucks, look at me. I'm here through no fault of my own. I'm just, a happy-go-lucky ape. And everybody else is like, bro, shut up.
Yeah.
This is real. You're not special.
Yeah.
Take your clothes off. And you better bow down.
Rocket rips his shirt off.
Rocket just gets up in his grill and beats him up, basically. Yeah. That's how Caesar gets to live his life for a while.
Yeah.
And they end up getting darts before anything gets too violent. Malfoy drops him with 2 darts.
Yep.
Now we go back to Koba, and after 1 dose, Koba's a fucking brainchild. Sorry for cussing. And
he is, though. Oh, he's so creepy.
Yeah. He writes Jacob's name on the board and looks right at him and smiles. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all Jacobs can see, because he's a moron, is dollar signs.
Right.
It's crazy. So Franklin is sick. Shocker, because he's been breathing in the 113 and he
sneezing and coughing blood.
Sneezes blood all over the neighbor.
Poor guy.
Poor neighbor gets a face full of blood and infected. Love it. Fuck you.
Freaking pilot. Yeah.
So now we find out that the orangutan in attendance, or
Maurice,
can also sign with Caesar, and they start talking about how humans don't like smart apes, so don't let them know you can read or you can write or anything like that. Just like the slaves.
Yeah.
Don't let them know you're smart, because we'll
Little-
beat that out of you.
little bit of parallel. Yep.
Can't have that.
Yeah, I love Maurice. I love his character.
I do
Right.
too.
Yeah.
And then Caesar gets a visit from Will, and he wants to go home. They're behind the glass, and it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I still feel for Caesar, but Caesar's starting to plan. You can see it every time he gets out in the yard. You can see little thinkings here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Little observations. Like, I think I can.
He gets
work
to the
with
top
this.
of that tree.
Yep. I think
He's
I
kind
can,
of looking around.
out. I
Yeah.
think I could work with this. I can get out of here.
Yeah.
Can't be that hard.
So I think at this point in time, he's forming relationship with Maurice. He's kind of figuring out how everything works. I mean,
the hierarchy.
yeah. And now at this point is this when, and also James Franco visits him 3 or 4 times. He goes through and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to get you out. I can't do it now." And you kind of see that heartbreaking between Franco and Caesar, where sorry, bud,
I'm trying.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Right now, Dodge comes in and does a tour with the girls and another dude, and
Yeah.
he his buddy ends up falling for a little ruse and gets his
By
knife
Caesar.
taken from him from Caesar. And while he's got the knife, he forms a tool, opens up his cage, and then he goes and he opens up Buck's cage,
Yeah.
the big
Yep.
gorilla.
He goes and taps him,
Yeah.
which I like a lot.
He opens up the cage and he comes barreling out of that freaking cell because he hasn't been
You
out of
know
there
it
in
too, because
years.
he backs off and it's all dark, and I'm like, oh, he's coming.
Yeah. And he's just loving life, you know. So that's how Caesar gets Rocket in line.
Yeah.
He throws Rocket out there, and he's got his big gorilla enforcer behind him. He's like, yeah, you're going to bow down now. Mm-hmm. I'm in charge. And, of course, the supplication, he raises his hand, and he gives him the okay. So Caesar's starting to take over at the shelter. That was a pretty good deal. I liked that a lot. Him figuring out, I'm going to have somebody more physical for me to take this guy.
Yeah,
because
right.
He needs muscle.
Rocket's bigger than he is and
Oh,
more
yeah.
muscular than he is. And a different species as well. He's a bonobo as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, bonobos are more aggressive, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's what Kobe is as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now Franklin dies because he was an idiot.
Yep.
His landlady finds him at
Didn't
home.
report anything
Nothing.
to anybody.
Way
Yeah.
to go, jackass.
Yeah.
He was trying to tell Will.
Yeah. And spread it.
Yeah. They didn't have phones back in
Quarantine
2011.
protocol.
I don't even know if he was trying to tell him. I think he was freaking out.
Probably. Wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
It's like, look, I was exposed and now I'm dying.
Right.
Of course, he doesn't know that, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Poor
Well,
pilot didn't know either, the neighbor.
Well, you would, yeah. Gosh.
Poor guy.
So-
International pilot at
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And now the crushing blow to Will. His dad dies after he refused the 113. He knew he was too far gone
Yeah.
to come back.
Man, that would have been bad for Will.
Yeah.
He would have given him that stuff.
Oh man, would have
that
saved
would
his
not have-
life.
yeah, it
Yeah.
would
I
not
mean,
have
for the
been-
moment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we never do find out what happened to him. I know
Well,
he's
it's just
dead.
one-
They just don't. They don't
Yeah,
say what
they
happened.
don't. Yeah.
Will wants him to stop testing on the 113 because we don't know what's going on with it. We need more. We need to analyze the data, but money always wins. It's always
Yeah.
greed. We're going to push it to make more money all the time.
Right.
disregard those safety protocols and tests. We don't need none of that stuff.
We're good.
Why would you need to test a vaccine for any reason?
Yeah, we don't need it.
I mean, I think the science part of this is a little on the stupid side.
Oh,
I think
a lot
that's
on the stupid
it.
side.
I mean, I know it's all about money, but like,
Right.
you're not going to make this stuff in mass
Right.
quantity without knowing what it does first.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to smuggle an animal out of a facility either.
No.
Not gonna happen.
Not going to happen.
No.
But that's for
So
another time.
from here on out, it's like this third
It's
act
bedlam.
is the best.
It's
yeah.
bedlam.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Third act comes in, and this is where it really gets fun. In my opinion.
If I remember right, he escapes through the safe way, right, and then he goes through and goes home.
Goes to James Franco's
Goes
house.
at Franco's house, and then they have three?
He has 3 canisters.
3 canisters of the aerosol.
Right.
That we had no idea.
That somehow got smuggled out of the. But yes.
Yeah, their inventory control's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit.
That's
Animals,
two thefts
canisters.
in 5 years.
Yeah, and he treated his dad for years.
Right.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Of course, he's probably in control of that inventory.
That's probably true. As
So
well. Yeah.
here's one thing too, that whenever you breathe that stuff in aerosol wise, okay, this is just one little minor plot hole that I have for it, is that he breaks open the canister a little bit at the house. So in my opinion, wouldn't that aerosol have, I mean, it's a big house, but would that
It
eventually
just
work?
depends. I guess it depends on how the virus works because
How long
I mean,
survivability of
well,
the aerosol
yeah, I was going to
is.
say
Right.
look at
the-
COVID. If
Yeah.
they said if you protect yourself with mask and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, that it's not you're going to be fine.
Right.
You couldn't get it from food. You couldn't get it. It had to be in the
Touching it
air.
from the
So
air, yeah.
eventually, it's going to go down to the ground and
Half-life.
stick to whatever surface and
Right.
die.
Exactly.
So
But yeah, I thought
But
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing too. But I also thought, is this going to make Caesar even smarter?
yeah, because he
Like
already
I know he
has,
had the 12, but the 13
the
is
13
got
is
to
going to affect
bump him up
more so.
even more.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'd think.
So-
Make a 14. See what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I stop there.
All right, stop there, baby.
So he goes,
Faster, better,
takes it back
stronger.
to the ape sanctuary. He busts open canisters and rolls them all the way down the hallway,
Perfect pitch.
just like that.
You are ahead of things a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, I was just kind of skipping around.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sorry.
That's all right. So I said Franklin dies. He's not dead yet.
No, he's not.
No. But so Will tries to break or buy Caesar's freedom. He
Yeah.
goes in and tries to bribe Brian Cox's character, and he accepts the bribe.
Yeah.
But Caesar won't leave.
Nope.
He doesn't want to be a pet, and he doesn't want to abandon the other apes.
Because he had that leash in
Yep.
his hand.
He saw the leash, and I really think he didn't want to abandon the other apes.
Yeah.
I think he found kind of a purpose with these apes.
yeah, I mean,
This is right
for
after
sure.
he met Maurice, too. So
Right.
Yeah.
So now Caesar's going to really bring everybody together. He's going to break Rocket out, going to give him a bag of cookies and tell him to give everybody cookies,
Yeah.
which unites the apes. And Maurice questions him, and he's like, so what'd you do that for? And he's like, well, together apes are strong.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, apes are stupid, because he sees them fighting. So that's when he comes up with the plan. He's going to go
steal
get
that.
the canisters from Genesis to make all the apes smart.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. And at this point in time, Icarus enters Mars' atmosphere.
Yep.
So that is an important part. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Icarus, the same ship from the original. Yay. Doses all the apes, and the next day he's sitting in his cell with that look on his face.
Yeah.
That just creeps me the hell out.
And I love
And
we're panning through cell by cell.
everybody's waking up and like they're looking at
What
their hands
is
like,
going on?
holy crap, I'm smart now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do long division.
Right.
Can't wait. So after that, Caesar just, you know what? I'll just start teaching you all sign language now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Followed up by one of my next favorite scenes is Brian Cox's character is walking out of the building and they're mimicking Caesar with grunts.
Yeah.
And they're all surrounded by him and he's like, "Oh, what's going in there?" And then one of the apes notices that the human's looking in
break it up.
and they scatter. And Caesar just kind of looks at
Oh,
him
I
like,
love that
"What are you
scene.
doing?"
Yeah. Like, yeah, don't worry about us.
Yeah,
we're good. We're good, guy.
We're just some dumb
We're
apes.
just dumb animals.
Yeah. Don't
you
worry about it.
me, guy.
Love that scene so
Yeah,
much.
It's great.
He gets off, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Brian Cox's character gets away with everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Caesar and Dodge going to show down finally.
Yeah.
And this has been coming for the entire time he's been in this shelter.
Yes.
He grabs him. Caesar grabs him, and you get the famous line, "Get your paw off me, you damn dirty ape." Dodge gets the hose while he's whole taser, the stun gun. When the other apes are going to kill Dodge, Caesar gets him to stop by screaming,
I have a special guest star that wanted to say this next line.
"No!" And it freaks out the other attendant.
Yeah. And that's the first line word he says.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my gosh.
Right? And then, so Dodge gets the hose while he's holding the stun gun. Doofus, I don't remember his name. He gets mercy. He just gets kindly
right. And
kindly pushed into the cage.
I don't think at this point Caesar had any intention of
hurting either one of them.
Not hurting, but killing any of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in his mind, he's trying to make apes more civilized.
Right.
We don't kill.
We don't need to be violent.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they'll be violent for violence but they're not going to kill anybody.
So now it's mass exodus out of the shelter. And this is what I didn't notice before when I've watched this so many times. They split up into two definite groups.
Yes.
So we got one group heading for Genesis. We got the other group heading for the zoo.
Right.
Because Caesar remembers going to the zoo and there being apes there. So let's bring them with us.
All of our kind.
Right?
Yeah. Now, at that point, are the apes just going to follow them because they're apes? Because they're not smart. They don't have the
I don't know. I don't know what they were going to do that.
Right.
I guess
I assumed that
he was going to get more.
Yeah.
That's why they went to Genesis, to break out the other apes
the other
there.
Smart apes, yeah.
And then to
maybe get
grab some more, you know.
And this leads to Jacob's scene, which is one of my favorites, where he's walking into the building and he is talking about, I think he's talking about profits or something like that.
Money.
Yeah. And he walks in and that's when he realizes,
something's not great.
Something's not right. And then the camera tilts up and there's this circular,
stairway,
main hall, okay? Mm-hmm. And it has all of the 3 floors. And he looks up and there's all of these apes on both floors above him. And they all start jumping down. I don't know how he survived through that.
No,
but
I don't either.
Right.
Got lucky as hell.
Yeah. Runs out and we get the LPD, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
On this. And they go up by helicopter and he's telling them, you guys have got to take them out. And we get one of the best action scenes of that year for 2011, which is the Golden Gate Bridge scene.
Yeah, it's killer.
And it is, yeah.
I liked when they were going through Genesis Labs and breaking out the other other apes, and of course, breaking the ones out of the zoo and then stealing the bars off the cages to use for spears.
Yeah.
That was scary.
And the animal control guy catches one of the apes and they turn his freaking vehicle into a porcupine.
100%.
And Rocket rips the doors off.
Yeah.
And pulls the ape out, and it was great.
Nuts.
And that van was driving off, and all the spears are sticking out of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm out.
You guys have it.
Yeah.
But I do like that the apes ignored the innocent humans.
Yeah.
They weren't out to attack.
They all had instructions of break people out and get out. We're going here.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that was the plan.
No killing, unless you're defending yourself type thing.
And all during this, James Franco goes to, because he sees, or what is it? Something happens.
He knows where he's going.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to head for the redwoods.
He sees the tape of Caesar turning the hose on him.
Right.
And Tom Felton electrocuting himself, basically. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yep. We know where we're going, so
Will knows where he's going. Yeah,
we're on the Golden Gate Bridge. And
on the bridge, and they've got the barricade at the other end in front of the forest, which I'm assuming is the north end. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if that's east, west, or north, south.
Yeah.
It gets nuts here. Yeah. They're racing towards one end. The cops are already there. They got a helicopter overhead. They got horses coming in behind them, and Caesar's like, "Shit, we're pinched, boys." So he instructs some of them to go up. And some of them to go under, and some of them to stay here.
The orangutans go under, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then some of the chimps go above, And they basically set up an ambush for the people waiting at the other end for him. I don't know how you ambush somebody that's already sitting there waiting for you.
Right.
But it was great. They pulled it off.
Thankfully,
They ended up
for them,
knocking a bus over and then pushing the bus.
The gorillas pushed the bus, yeah.
Which was freaking great. And I think one of my favorite scenes of this entire movie is when Buck he charges at the dude on horseback and stops the horse with one hand on the chest of the horse and pushes him up, pulls the cop off, and gets in his face.
And just screams.
And, well, he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
And Caesar stops him. And then he just screams in the guy's face with the face shield on. And you see the spit hitting the window. Yeah. And I literally wrote, shit pant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm not getting out of there with clean pants.
No.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, so the barricade gets busted as they push the truck or the bus up. We get the chimps coming from above. You've got the other ones coming around the sides. You got orangutans coming up from the bottom, and they just get overrun quickly.
Yeah, quick.
And then the machine gun shows up in the helicopter and starts spraying and praying. Ooh. And this is where Buck takes matters into his own hands, and he leaps up, jumps into the helicopter. I cannot imagine the chaos in that helicopter for that 5 seconds when an 800-pound
Can you imagine just
gorilla
looking over and
jumps
seeing it?
in the window of your helicopter,
right? And
you're like, "Ooh, this is the worst possible place for an 800-pound gorilla." It's great. So Buck sacrifices himself for Caesar because he's getting ready to get blown away, and he jumps up into the cockpit, takes like 4 rounds right in the chest, crashes the helicopter, and then gets out and dies in front of Caesar. And Caesar's just like, damn, this guy just sacrificed his life for me.
Yep.
And I think that's when he says, ape not kill ape. I think that's when that enters into his head in my mind.
Yeah.
Because our numbers are not as great as they need to be just yet, so we can't be doing that. And then
somehow Jacobs survived.
Yep.
On the helicopter.
Jacobs is inside the helicopter as it's
hanging
precariously over the side, and then Koba gets revenge.
Yep.
Good old Koba. Caesar wasn't going to save him. He wasn't going to kill him, but he wasn't going to save him. And then Koba's like, "Yeah, you can go.
I'm going to help you."
Just pushed him off.
Yep.
He could have lived.
This is your
place.
But I
doubt it.
That's real far.
Yep.
It is real far.
There were 2 scenes shot for this movie, okay? And they actually ended up changing it at the end, where James Franco's character would have sacrificed himself to save Caesar from the helicopter, and then it would have sent Caesar into a rage to take out the helicopter. Okay? Mm-hmm. But we get this ending where Franco meets them in the Redwood Forest, initially comes across Koba. Koba doesn't mess around.
Koba kills him.
Well, no, Koba. This is the.
Oh, so this is the actual ending.
Actual ending. Yeah.
He finds
the original
Koba.
ending.
Koba's going to beat the shit out of him and probably kill him because he don't like people either.
No, not at all.
And Koba meets Caesar for the first time, basically.
Right.
And tells him, look, well, not for the first time, but a real meeting to find out who's in charge here. And he finds out real quick that Will's untouchable.
Yeah.
And he protects him. And he goes, come on, you have to come home. You have to come home. And this is when he speaks, Caesar is home.
Yeah.
And he's like,
look at his face.
Okay.
Like, all right.
Caesar's home.
Yeah.
All right. Good. And then we roll credits. And then we have a post-credit scene where our good neighbor, the pilot, international pilot
guy,
gets on a plane and he has to take a cab because his car's broke.
Yeah.
I like that detail.
Yeah. And then he gets on an international flight and spreads the virus all over the globe. I love
that scene through the credits of the plane hopping from one, and then it spiders out to where there's all across
That's
the
how
globe.
it happens.
Yeah, no shit. We saw it.
All right. Well,
what do you think, Bellas? What do you think?
Know.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic.
That was great.
There's really not a lot of things that I would change about the movie.
No, other than the faux science.
But even then, it was a fun movie, so I didn't really care about it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there were glaring holes, but you're not going to make a movie with.
Well, I mean, how are you going to control the chimps that you get from the zoo that don't have
Exactly.
113.
Right.
Now I know that it's a virus, and so they will get it.
Yeah.
It's going to spread just like it does to every other human,
Right.
And make chimps smart and humans die.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen within an hour.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's the only real thing that
Right.
I question about the entire movie. But other than that,
I really
it
look
was fun.
forward to your somewhat review of War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
So, with that being said, our rating scale is as follows. We have an S, which Exorcist and
Way
Back. And those are phenomenal movies. We only have
Flawless.
10 flawless movies. We only have 10 of them. A is great movie, minor problems. B is above average. It's a pretty good movie. I'd rewatch it.
Yep.
C is your average movie. D has problems.
Lots.
And then F is I'm never...
Unwatchable.
Yeah. Cannot.
Terrible. Dumber for
So-
having seen it.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm so excited for Planet of the Apes, like the new one.
Kingdom.
But this one, if you would have had me review it after, like before I'd seen the other ones, this would be like A+. Okay. Mm-hmm. But with the other two in the trilogy, this one's probably A minus somewhere in there.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'd say A minus.
So-
I think
Yeah.
after watching Dawn, it's better.
Yeah.
I think Dawn is the strongest of the three.
I do too.
It's so good.
I do too.
I think you might be a little disappointed with War, but it's still really good.
It's still,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still,
I love all the
Solid.
characters in Dawn.
yeah.
I
good
wish
because
that
none of them come back.
I know. I wish that. Well, it's the same as this one, right? Besides Caesar.
Right.
No. Well, Caesar, Koba, Rocket,
Right. All of the eight.
all of the apes
yeah,
come
yeah,
back,
yeah,
survive.
yeah.
Yeah.
but none
None
of
of
humans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it sucks. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
did.
character in Dawn.
Really
But
wasted. Gary Oldman.
I'm with you on this one. I'm giving it an A.
A.
Yeah. I think it's solid. I don't think it's a S tier
No.
with not with the holes in it, but it's really, really,
Really
good. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, you made me care for a cartoon.
It's crazy. And I didn't the entire time. I had an internal battle of who I was like.
Yeah.
Why do I hate the humans? And I'm human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just default to hate the humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
the way it's supposed to go. Especially the white ones.
Right.
Sweaty white ones, man.
Sweaty white freaking racists.
So,
Gotta love them.
Lee, what about you?
I give it an A minus.
A minus.
A minus. So I think this is what right at an A minus. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I think I had A minus, A
A minus.
minus.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Great film.
what do you think?
I highly recommend it.
I do too, 100%. So, all right. Well, was it your first time watching it?
No.
No? Okay.
This one
You'd
I'd seen
it
in the
before.
theater.
Yeah.
I had not seen the other ones.
Okay.
So this is the first time for me for the others.
Nice. Okay.
Sweet.
Well, awesome. Well, that was our quasi.
I was reluctant to see it after the 2001 Planet of the Apes movie.
Well,
so
I don't think that one happened.
oh okay.
What? 2001.
It was a
That must have
fever.
been-
That was a fever
Fever
dream.
dream.
Fever
Yeah.
dream.
I'm not sure.
Come on, feel it.
Mock wobble.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you guys so
From
much for
Dorchester.
sticking around with us. Let us know if you kind of like this new format. We're going to try it again on our next one since we record back to back.
Damn it.
Random TIE fighter flying
TIE fighter
through.
flying through. Maybe kind of look ahead at what our next movie is going to be. So, yeah. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
See ya.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. Hello and welcome to the Postcast. Hope you're all enjoying your Cinco de Mayo, or as us white people call it, May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, Rise of the 6th weekend. We tossed a coin on which episode to post for you today, and ended up with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. A special shout out to Cohen. We miss you and hope Arizona is treating you well. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, and follow us wherever podcasts are found. Look for our next episode, Monday, May 13th, which is when we'll be posting our review of Solo, a Star Wars story. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.